Hey guys, Eric here. I hope you guys enjoyed that thing with my lovely dog Bailey. I love her very much. She wanted to go for a walk this morning and dug that leash out of the closet and knocked a whole bunch of crap over doing so. Brought it to me and then I didn't wake up. So it was sitting there on the floor and I was like, what's this doing here? And I was like, oh. And that's when I grabbed the camera and I was like, okay. Perfect video opportunity. And it reminded me of something I wanted to talk about. And I've been wanting to talk about it for quite some time actually. And it involves my fear of failure. If anybody asks me what I'm fearful of, it's not very many things, but failure is one of them. Why am I scared of failure? It doesn't matter. Just try again, right? Well, it all stems from something that I don't talk about very much and not very many people actually know. Eric, I, myself, shouldn't talk in the third person. I have a learning disability. And I'm going to come clean about it. It's nothing that I should hide. It is who I am. I was re-diagnosed several years ago now because, gosh damn, high school graduation thing was almost 11 years ago now. Shit. Okay, so anyway, no, it's more than that. Whatever. Anyway, I was behind in school for years. Okay, pretty much from the get-go. In elementary school, I went to a very ghetto school. It was a terrible school. It still is. Had some very, very bad teachers. The time frame couldn't have been worse because there was not much known about mental disease or mental disorders of any kind. I was diagnosed with ADHD, which was a wrong diagnosis, medicated for years on that. They tried many different medications for it. Settled on one that I was on for practically half my life. That was okay, did help with certain things, but they eventually stopped making it. To make a long story short, that happened when I was in junior high. But see, when I got into junior high, I could barely read, let alone do any math, science, or anything like that. So things were shit in elementary school. They were really bad. I had a teacher that would purposely give me bad grades even though I would get questions correct or I would spell words correctly, things like that. They had tried a new type of reading program when I was just starting to learn to read. It was, I can't remember what it was called, but you would learn words based off line of sight, not sounding them out. So you were told, okay, this word is cat, and you would memorize that that word would be cat. You would not learn how to sound it out. Today, for me, that's still an issue. It actually hinders my spelling because if I could actually, I mean, I know how now, but if I was actually taught that way, it probably wouldn't be as bad. I'd be a lot more further along than I am. But all that happened. It continued to happen for many, many years. And it wasn't till I got to my senior year, and I kid you not, guys, once the medication was gone and everything like that, everything went to hell. My health was gone. I gained a shit ton of weight. I went from I was like probably maybe 110 pounds, if that, to well over 210 in a very short period of time. That was because of a medication we tried. God damn it. Shit. I hate that. I hate that. I'm not going to talk about it because it pisses me off. But anyway, went through a portion of my life where I had problems with epilepsy. Thankfully, that is all gone. I don't have to take meds for that, anything like that anymore, which is great. But, I realized after all this crap, by the time I got to high school, it was my senior year, I did not have enough credits to graduate. I could not do my times tables mentally. I didn't have them memorized. If you gave me a piece of paper and a pen, I could do math. I could read. I had reading. I was at about a 9th or 10th grade reading level at that point. Lots of things, okay? English was a complete joke. Punctuation, grammar, all that shit, writing, complete joke. Still is. If I ever send a letter out to somebody, it's just one sentence. I don't punctuate at all. I don't even give it a shot or a try because I don't understand a fucking thing about it. Something I need to work on. Anyway, got to my senior year in high school. Realized that it didn't matter how hard I worked, how much makeup work I needed to do, all that shit, all of these health problems still continuing, sleeping like ungodly amounts of hours a day, well over 13 hours a day, guys. Missed many days of school. Had to meet with truancy officers, you name it, all because of my health at the time. And to be honest with you, I also didn't want to go. I did not want to go anymore because I knew I had already failed. I had failed school. I was never going to get anywhere. That's how I felt. I was done. I was screwed. Never going to amount to anything. I didn't even tell out my family. But I discussed it with my parents. Particularly my mom. My mom is a very supportive person, guys. I have a great family. They're extremely supportive when it comes to certain things. But then when it comes to other certain things, which they consider personally a waste of time, support's gone. It's gone. But anyway. My mom and I talked about me dropping out of high school because I was well over 10 credits behind. There was no amount of money or time that would allow me to get that done in a year. And I had talked to my resource caseworker, my teachers, all that stuff. And it was one great teacher and another. There's two teachers involved. I still think very highly of them today, that informed me of a new program that was starting for people that have issues like me. Because in the States, when you have any type of learning disability or a mental illness or anything like that that affects your ability to do school and learn, you're guaranteed an education until you're 20, it's 21 or 22, I can't remember for sure. And you get your high school diploma and it's all paid for. I was not aware of this, so I thought I had lost everything. But what I did not know is that I had to be reevaluated. I hadn't been evaluated since elementary school, okay? They do annual testing and stuff like that to see where you are in your levels and stuff, but they had not actually reevaluated me completely. And so I'm like, okay, I'm done. Dropped out of high school, and I enrolled in the program. I went back into that program that fall. Main reason I dropped out of high school is because there was a particular administrator there that really I couldn't stand her. My parents can't stand her. She is I'm not gonna say the words. I'm gonna try and keep this kind. You put insert word here. You think of the worst word you can, and that's who she was. Anyway, the thing is that I had to be retested. And the testing was done differently now. They actually have a professional psychiatrist and all that do the testing. And so I went and got retested. that fall. It was about around this time of the year. It was like September, October. I can't remember for sure. It's August right now, of course, so I know my months. But I learned something. I learned something very interesting. And this something actually changed my life for the better. Helped me out a ton. I kid you not, a ton. Helped my teachers out a ton. And ironically, one of the best teachers I've ever had was the head of this new program. The program is called STAR. Students Transitioning to Adult Roles is what it stands for. It's an amazing program run here in Utah. It's still running today. It's actually grown. It's still growing. They are always fully booked. When I went, they were in 2 portables. They now have their own school. They built a school for them. And it's a pretty nice one. I wish I had that when I was going. Anyway, so the psychiatrist did the testing. The testing took over an hour. And I found out that I have a form of autism. The autism is known as PDD, Pervasive Developmental Disorder, not otherwise specified is the diagnosis. Now I'm going to read this here real quickly for you because this explains it. The category, let's see, where is it at? Scroll down too far. Okay. Some developmental health professionals refer to PDD-NOS as sub-threshold autism. In other words, it's the diagnosis they use for someone who has some but not all characteristics of autism, or who has relatively mild symptoms. For instance, a person may have significant autism symptoms in one core area, such as social deficits, but mild or no symptoms in another core area, such as restricted or repetitive behaviors. There's also things like sensory things like that fall into that category. And that actually is a perfect explanation and perfect diagnosis. There's nothing better for that. It fits me to a T. I'm a lot more on what they would call the Asperger's side of things. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I do not show traits of ADD and things like that. I kind of have a hard time paying attention sometimes, I guess, but it's not that I'm not listening. Just I'm not looking at you. But the disorder fits. It fits perfectly. And once I found that out, I was able to focus on the categories that I was lacking, and they knew the categories that I was struggling in. And ironically, what were they? Communication. Check. Not so much anymore. That one I actually improved on pretty quickly. Once I started not caring about what people thought about me, then it was a breeze. Still don't care what people think about me. Then you have things like sensory issues, change in your environment. That one still bothers me quite a bit. If things that I have in certain areas get moved, it really kind of makes me very uneasy and stressed out. I don't like it at all. But the thing of the matter is that I found this out so late in life that there really wasn't much that I could do about it. I was able to complete and finish high school. I had a job. I was very good at my job. I received great and amazing job training. I learned how to do resumes. I learned how to do so much within that program that I actually benefited from it. I got my math down. I got all that stuff down. But how does this tie into college? Let's say I'm terrified that I'm going to fail just the enrollment testing, guys. And people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You can't fail enrollment testing. I feel that I am at a level that's so far behind that I'm not gonna get in, basically. But the college that I'm going to doesn't work that way, okay? It's more of a placement. And I guess I shouldn't say it that way. The fear is more that I'm gonna forever be stuck doing math, English, all that stuff, because I'm just really bad at it. Never been able to comprehend it, never been able to understand it in a traditional learning method. There's not a lot of assistance in that. I'm going to have to rely very heavily on my family. We fight constantly when it came to schoolwork. There's a lot of things I'm terrified about that really just makes me scared that I'm going to fail. And the reason that I mean, even money terrifies me. I don't want to freaking fail because I'm using Pell Grants here, guys. I mean, I don't have the money to do this. I have 3 cents, if that. I haven't looked at my bank account because every time I look at my bank account, I get depressed because there's nothing in there. And then I have all these bills that I have to pay, and I can't pay them, and all that shit, you know? So, why am I scared? There you go. Now you know a bit more about me. There you go. Now the world knows, hey, Eric has a form of autism. There you go. Am I a cool kid? Yeah. Do I care about people? Oh, hell yes. Do I have a learning disability? Yes. Do I care what people say about me? Not one word. And I'm referring to hate, of course. I'm not referring to like kind comments and stuff. Those I really do appreciate. They make my day. But if somebody's going to come up and try and bring me down, they can go suck a duck. But anyway, just to kind of not make this too long, it's already long enough, as I can see the counter on here. I've enrolled in college. I am a person who has a learning disability. Pretty damn good one at that. It really hinders me a lot. I'm trying to play to my strengths, but the problem is now that I have a bad back with the degenerative disc disease, and there's the issues with the fibromyalgia and all that shit, it makes it extremely difficult to play within my strengths, because my strengths have always been automotive or mechanical, that kind of stuff. I love puzzles, always have loved puzzles, and a car is basically a giant puzzle. Every part has its place. Anyway, what it comes down to is I don't want to fail. I want to succeed. It's the same thing with YouTube. I do not want to fail. I want to succeed. That's why I drive and push so hard. I thank every one of you for the support. Every single person. And if anybody out there watches this and you have some form of a disability, it doesn't matter what it is, whether you can't walk, whether you can't read, whether it's ADHD or anything like that, don't give up, ever. Don't let bullies bring you down because of it. Don't let people make fun of you for your reading in class out loud. Don't get pissed off about it and get in a fight. I don't condone that. But don't let it personally bring you down, because if you work hard at it and work extremely hard at it, you will get somewhere. Guys, school for me was a nasty part of my life. I don't even like looking at it. It's one of the reasons why I'm stressing so much about going back. I don't want it to be that way again. I want to actually enjoy it. I want to enjoy it this time. So, I'm going to try my best. But, keep that in mind, guys. No hate needed. Just love, right? Jesse is somebody I look very much up to, because he put out a series that I really relate to so closely, that my life follows so closely, that it's actually creepy. The only thing that doesn't happen in that series to me is that my shit doesn't get broken. But that's literally how I had to have my life growing up, because that's the only way I was able to get to this point. I'm not looking for sympathy, guys. I'm trying to be more encouraging than looking for sympathy. I have had a lot of great opportunities in my life, and I've had a lot of great experiences as well. So please try not to feel sorry for me. I mean, there was hell. I mean, there was bullies and shit in school that made fun of me. A lot of that happened when I gained a ton of weight. The learning part happened when I was in elementary school. Bullying is not right. Don't do it. It's not cool. It's the worst thing you could ever do. I do not condone it one bit. There's having fun, and then there's not having fun, and bullying is not having fun. It's just ruining somebody's life, and it hurts people. Anyway, I'm going to end on that. I hope you guys enjoyed the little intro with Bailey. She's not out here with me right now. She was earlier, but because I've been working on the computer and stuff, but she's not now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Sorry it's long, but it's not as long as the other one. And you guys don't forget to subscribe for more, of course, and definitely give you some good ideas for like informational videos if you want some of those. I don't mind doing them. Like I said, this channel is all about what you guys want to see, so challenges, pranks, informational videos, you name it. Message me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Send me something. All links are in the description. And as always, subscribe for more content, guys. And if you guys want to particularly talk about this subject, I have no problem doing so. I also do a group on Facebook about it. I'm trying to grow Twitter, guys, so go follow me on Twitter. Twitter is an amazing platform to talk on. It's a lot easier to deal with than Facebook, to be honest with you. I don't like having like 50 different chat windows open just to have a conversation with a whole bunch of people. And doing it in a group is a joke because everybody talks over each other. So anyway, I'll figure out something for tomorrow. Probably gonna go to the junkyard tomorrow. I don't know. It is Sunday and it is Utah after all. Anyway, later, guys.